And I am pleased to welcome to the 2025 edition of Statehouse Conversations a freshman lawmaker, newly elected,
Yes, sir.
State Senator Mark Spencer, District 3.
Yes, sir.
Gary is the city that you call home.
I do.
Congratulations on the start of your tenure here in the State House.
Thank you. It's an honor to be
Everything
here.
you thought it would be so far?
And then some. This is a surreal experience. When I walk in these halls, I look up and looking at the dome and the archway. It's an incredible experience. It's an honor to be
As a guy who has been involved in the performing arts, this is not a bad house to play in, as they say, right?
No, I have to refrain from wanting to do a verse of a musical or two, so I'll remain quiet.
I will say the acoustics leave something to be
I was gonna
desired,
say,
but as
but
I hear
no,
echoes. But
the chamber's beautiful. Yeah.
So what's your focus this session? Yeah, freshmen they can have an impact, and I'm sure you want to be one of those who does. What's your priority?
And as I learned, it's important for me to be as attentive to all of the legislation that comes before us. But for me, one particular piece of interest is Senate Bill 329 that I offered, and it's about water curricular discussions, water safety, and the documentation of drownings throughout the state of Indiana. Where I come from, District 3, and it encompasses Gary, Maryville, Hobart, Lake Station, New Chicago. We're adjacent to one of the Great Lakes, undoubtedly the greatest lake in my opinion. It supplies our surface water supply. It's adjacent to our only national park in the state of Indiana. Absolutely gorgeous landscape, but it's also, I would say, undoubtedly the most dangerous of all, with the number of drownings. And what I'm thinking with this legislation is to make young people aware, and citizens in general aware, of the importance of water safety etiquette. So wanting the health department to provide data on the number of drownings that have occurred in the state so we can actually track those patterns. Having the school corporations to actually use the curriculum that would be created for students to be aware. Now think about this, if you have students who are aware of fire safety, so you would either stop, drop, and roll, or if there's a tornado exercise, I certainly experienced them as children, we would do certain maneuvers under desks or in a safe haven. I don't hear so much about how one would actually react if they were in a crisis situation with water. And I've had my own challenges, and I just wouldn't want the fear to be instilled in our young citizens, our young Hoosiers in general. We would want them to be aware of what to do and have those tools in place to survive. If it saves one life, this is well worth the effort.
The study and the investment.
That's
and when
how I
that warm weather rolls around, and I'm assured as I shiver, it will.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people think they're invincible, and they go out and grab that watercraft or
Yes,
go
sir.
for a swim and remember, oh, I don't know how to swim. I forgot about that part of this
I only
equation.
float or barely having those tools in place. Absolutely.
And some other bills that I think you said you're focused
No,
on.
absolutely. And you know, I come from, my origin originally is the Gary City Council. I was a councilman at large. I was very passionate about gun lock safety. Again, dealing with deaths that were unnecessary that could have been prevented. And no one wants to challenge our Second Amendment, but we want to ensure that best practices are in place if individuals want to have these firearms, making sure that they're in an environment or a stored space where it's away from dependence from children who can actually harm themselves or others. And the legislation that is in place now that I'm actually toting and trying to getting a hearing for is that if those guns are locked away, or if they are not, then there will be a penalty for the owner of that gun.
And gun locks and gun safes have been supported even by some of the most vocal pro-gun groups, have they not?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
So you think the reception should be fairly warm?
I think it would be a plausible discussion, if nothing else.
Priorities are always the challenge. Yeah,
but I don't think it's a deal breaker, or if it's one that makes people grimace, because again, you're not challenging the Second Amendment. We're simply saying best practices so that everyone wins in this endeavor where people are safe and you can have that right at the same time.
Another plus you have going for you, it's a budget year. I'm sure you've heard about that somewhere. It doesn't have a fiscal note, right?
No, it doesn't, and that helps. That's always a value add, right?
You can go to your colleagues across the aisle and say, hey, there's no price tag on this.
There's no pain and suffering here fiscally. We could use the support, and I think, and this isn't what we call feel-good legislation. It's just practical, sensible legislation that I think is good for all Hoosiers.
Spoken like somebody with far more experience than a freshman, but
no.
that the local government expertise has come in.
Absolutely.
Senator Mark Spencer, District 3, Gary, Indiana, Democrat. Thank you for taking time to chat with us about the session and what you hope to derive from it, and thank you for your commitment to the state of Indiana and to public service. Congratulations on your victory, and look forward to seeing your tenure unfold here at the State House.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you so much.